It's kind of sparse. There's not a huge number of people here. I mean, there's probably 300, 400.
Dan Roberts. Add button.
Hey man, is it your sign? I'm just doing a live broadcast. Yeah. Tell me why you've come out tonight.
I came out to support the movement and just to let my voice be heard in a positive way.
And what's your name?
My name is Melvin Towns.
And are you, a lot of people are saying people should go home at 10 o'clock. What's your feeling about that?
I mean, people feel as though like this shouldn't have to go home. This is where we live. This is our home. But at the end of the day, they should go home because I don't want nobody getting hurt.
You think that's going to happen?
I mean, if they make good, wise decisions, nothing will happen. But if they make dumb decisions, still will be something will happen.
I can hear your voices hoarse. You've been like, have you been involved in the protests?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And right from the beginning?
Yeah.
I mean, for people who are watching this broadcast and want to know how people in the community feel about Freddie Gray's death, how would you explain it?
The phrase, right? That's my working phrase. It just need to stop the police. What it's called? Brutality.
And what would you say? There's people watching this from all over the country right now. I mean, the whole nation's eyes are on Baltimore right now.
The whole nation's eyes on Baltimore. What do they gotta say?
Well, what would you like to see change in the city?
I mean, just everything. Black on black crime, make it stop.
Twitter notification. Twitter at David Coleman 1 retweeted. Vertical line live now. Vertical line from Baltimore courtesy of Periscope number near @MRK. TV/1KRJNPK.
Message. People saying it's going to
Twitter notification. Twitter at David Coleman 1 favorited. Vertical line live now. Vertical line from Baltimore courtesy of Periscope number near @MRK. TV/1KRJNPK.
I know. Listen, go. Somebody take my nephew East Baltimore. Who going east? Anybody going east? Just one person, a young guy, need to get home.
You need to get your nephew home.
I need to get him home.
Yeah.
He only going east. Because I worry about them harming him. If they see him out here, he young, he black, and he live in the city, I fear them Baltimore City police.
Twitter notification. Twitter at Simple Favorite. Vertical line live now. Vertical line from Baltimore courtesy of Periscope number near @MRK. TV/1KRJNPK.
I know you stand up for something. I got my heart, but y'all gotta go back.
It's time for me to go. I told them that's all the Masons and all.
You know, first of all, they go a suit.
Okay.
You shouldn't do that. Come on. You just seem like an educated, mature man. Don't assume. They're not trying to make you or hurt you or do anything to you.
But once 10 o'clock,
you know, you need to just, why do you even worry about it? Just respect what the man said and go.
That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. That's why I had to sign go to.
So whoever said this wouldn't be happening in England? Yeah, these are live comments. So these are people, let me just show you. I can turn this camera on. Broadcast.
Alert. Robert Pace at Superstar started following you.
Yeah, good to see us. And these are all people's comments. That's what people have to say. There's been some negative comments. And if there's more of those, we're just going to have to turn them off. But this is like a way of, you know, it's gone. Yeah, this has happened in England. Happened 4 years ago, and it was probably more intense. It's definitely more intense. It spread from London to Manchester to Liverpool to Birmingham.
Thank you all. Thank you for showing Americans Black Lives Matter. Show Americans that we know how to take care of our
So look, this is a kind of funny thing you might not normally see. These two guys here are security for Fox News. And the guy in front is like a Fox News correspondent. Some of you will recognise him. He's the one with the big moustache. So he's kind of stood in the middle, and he's got these two big guys protecting him. A lot of the TV networks have got these kind of bodyguards. Some of them are ex-military. There's a kind of Fox News correspondent. I'm pretty sure he's Fox News. I saw him sat in the Fox News van before. Geraldo. He is Fox, right?
Thank you, Baltimore.
Yeah, he's just going to stand up.
Let's continue to move towards our home. Here, we need you to move back so that people can move
He's got a
towards their
microphone.
home.
More people are kind of... People are posing for pictures with him.
Let's clear out Pennsylvania Avenue and North Avenue.
I don't know if it kind of shows because it's quite grainy, but he looks really nervous.
We agree on much more than we do.
You ever have? Oh, he's a leftist. It's a leftist who appears on Fox. What should we ask him?
Microphone for a second.
Geraldo.
Yes.
Hi, this is Periscope. I'm from The Guardian.
Oh, hi.
A lot of people are recognising you. Tell me what you think about what's going on here.
Well, I think the community and the police have pretty much buttoned things up for tonight. I'm very hopeful that 10 o'clock will come and go, and it won't be a repeat of yesterday. I'm confident it won't be a repeat of yesterday. You might have one or two troublemakers or incidents, but I don't think you can have anything like the generalized violence you had last time.
That's a confident statement to make.
Maybe wildly optimistic.
It's recorded now, you know, I mean, if that turns out to be a wrong prediction.
I know.
Riots tend to last several days. It's rarely that they just last 24 hours and then fizzle.
Well, you know, these folks have a very tough row to hoe in life. And you can expend a lot of emotion for a short amount of time, and then you got to get back to just the survival. This is one of the toughest, economically speaking, neighborhoods in America. I mean, it's like Detroit or Cleveland, our other big post-industrial cities, where you have very affluent suburbs surrounding a rotten urban core. I mean, you have like, I think it's 30+% unemployment, 18 to 34. You have virtually no intact marriages. I mean, 3/4 of each of these families has no dad, breadwinner at home. I mean, these are staggering. I mean, most of the kids, they graduate to prison here. The Bloods and the Crips have a chokehold on this neighborhood. They fight over drug dealing turf. Mm-hmm. You know, if Freddie Gray's life means anything, and maybe it'll have folks pay attention to these neighborhoods.
Yeah. And I see you've got these two guys kind of looking after you here.
They are definitely looking after me.
They're making you feel safe.
Well, yesterday we had, some people roughed up. I prefer to be on my own, but I don't make that decision.
Yeah, cool. All right, well, I hope you do stay safe.
Hey, you too. He's a good-looking man.
They are good-looking men. They're big-looking men as well.
Big,
Helps, yeah.
big, good-looking man. All right, am I on?
Yeah. Okay, so that was Geraldo. If you're just signing into this and you can see the name of the broadcast is something about Christians, it's because when I started the broadcast, there was an altercation between a chaplain, Christian chaplain, and another Christian guy who was on a microphone who was preaching some kind of radical Christian ideas, and he was trying to urge him to turn off the microphone. So that's why the title of this broadcast is Christianity in it. No other reason. So the time is 10 minutes to 10, and the curfew obviously falls at 10 o'clock, and that's when everyone is going to be on tenterhooks really to see what happens. Firstly, do people leave? Probably won't leave. And secondly, when they don't leave, what's the response from the police? I'm a journalist interviewing people. Can I ask how you feel to be on this front line tonight? No, it's fine. Are you guys allowed to talk to us, or no? You're not allowed.
That's something.
Capital I. Yes, button. Nav, button. Are you sure you want to report at Nav colon 1? Nav, button. Yes. Nav, button. At Nav colon 1, we tweeted this.
So we're 10 minutes away from the curfew.
I don't know why that happened. Sorry about that.
Guys have formed a line. They obviously have their long batons out, long shields out. Long shields normally denotes them holding their ground. When the short shields come out, that's normally when police are going to charge.
Go that way, buddy. Go back that way. Go back that way. We're trying to get people home. Go back that way.
How many people are still here? The crowd has thinned out a bit, I have to say that. The crowd has thinned out a bit. So it's probably half the number of people here when the broadcast started. It must be 20 minutes ago. I need to kind of find my, a lot of the journalists who are working tonight are trying to stick in pairs, including us journalists at The Guardian. And I kind of want to find my colleagues if I can, especially as we're nearing 10 o'clock when the curfew begins.
12 noon on Saturday. Other than that, we say wake up, clean up, and stand up for your rights. Stand up for your rights. Stand up for your rights. It's your time right now, Baltimore. It's your time, young people. It is your time. It's your time to take a stand and get your life together and straighten out those that have dogged us.
What do you want me to ask him? Excuse me, sir. I'm doing a live broadcast. I see you've got a megaphone. I just wanted to ask you what your... Malik. Sir, I'm doing a broadcast. I see you have a megaphone, and I just wondered what your message was tonight.
We organize, politically organize yourself, and coherently present your demands and organize for a better life. That's my message. Politicize. Take what has happened here and politicize your demands so that we can live in a better way in our communities. That's my message. 12 noon on Saturday. Organize, 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 young black man, young black woman. Organize, young soldier. Organize, young brother. Organize. We don't agree. We don't agree that these young men are criminals. We don't agree that they're thugs. We say they have been robbed by the true criminal and the true thugs. We don't agree that they're thugs. They are little brothers. They are family, man. Nobody listened to them until last night. Huh? All right.
Are you going to stick around after 10 o'clock?
I'm supposed to do an interview at 10 o'clock.
Ah, okay.
Guess I got to, right? Come on. They ain't pulling it. Come on, man. They ain't gonna pull it.
So if you can hear in the distance, there's someone from behind the police lines. I don't know if it's a police officer or someone else with a microphone, urging people to go home after 10 o'clock.
Go home tonight. That's all we ask is for you to go home tonight, please. It's not about people selling out.
That bright light you can see in the distance is from a armoured police carrier truck.
Baltimore, we need you to go home. Please move towards your home.
Baltimore, we need you to go home, she says. Move toward your home. Someone just shouted from the crowd, what are you going to do? Start shooting?
We got it.
What happens after 10? No one really knows.
Okay, we got a few more minutes before the curfew begins to take place, you all. And we promised that we would be off the streets at 10 o'clock. So please, let's go home. Please go home. Everybody, please go home. Please go home. Nobody needs to get arrested tonight. We want you all to go home.
Okay, so the police are lining up
Please go home.
behind the first line. There's a second line of police lining up behind them. They're going to charge them.
I think they'll get them slapped. But they will want to see the march. I don't think it'll like go to the
If we go home tonight, then make sure we die by tomorrow.
I want to thank the Senator Jones Rodwell
The
for
guy just
being with
walked
us
back
this
saying if we go
evening.
home tonight, they'll make
She's
sure we
asked
die
you
by
to
tomorrow.
please go home.
I'm going to
You all adults,
I'm gonna check out
Let's
now.
go home. Let's abide by the
and I'm going to move back a bit because I think we've got a bit of a responsibility to stand back and see what happens from the sidelines. I will check back in again a bit later. Thanks for following. Yeah, I found my colleagues. Thank you. I'm safe.
Break the law and challenge the authority in that city. That's what civil disobedience is. We can go from a peaceful protest to one with violence. There's crimes happening because the people are challenging
hard. So those police got to do a little community policing there and give the people, be a little patient tonight at the strike at 10. Again, that 10 o'clock hour is done to get the intent for the majority of the people to go in. But that could easily turn into a very nasty operation if they start getting arrested and challenge the police on every minor infraction that they might do. So they've done a great job, but the objective of the protesters are going to be to do something that break the law or the potential to break the law and challenge the authority, focus on law and order, and the people are focused on justice. And they want to show the police that the police work for them.
And Van Jones, as you watch this, obviously this is, getting down to the final minutes now, right before the curfew, and we've seen the impact, without a doubt, the strong impact that community leaders, that pastors, church groups, volunteers have had all throughout the day and throughout tonight. The question is, what happens as those volunteers are past their curfew? Are they working with police to continue to try to get people to move on? Do they themselves go home? It's a tricky situation.
Anderson, we are now in the second major leadership challenge for the mayor and for law enforcement. Except for the media, there are now three forces on the ground. There's law enforcement, there's what you would call the One Baltimore movement, these community leaders that have been so heroic, and there are still those unruly elements. To control the day, law enforcement wanted, allowed, cooperated with the One Baltimore movement, flooding the streets with peaceful protesters. Now you've got to actually reverse the polarity. You needed the people out of their houses to get control. Now you need them back in their houses to keep control. That is a very difficult thing for law enforcement and the mayor to pull off and to execute. And what you've got to do in that situation, if you're the mayor, is you've got to create a stair-step effect where you do not unleash your police against your allies, the One Baltimore movement. At the same time, you can't let the One Baltimore movement undermine your curfew. So over the course of minutes and hours, they've got to increase lower the tolerance for people being on the street. I am very, very concerned that you could blow this thing by moving too fast, as our previous speaker said, but you could also completely undermine the authority of the mayor by moving too slow. If 2 hours from now, 3 hours from now, you still have One Baltimore movement leaders out there, you still have other elements out there, other people got to start coming back outdoors. And so this is a very, very tough situation for this mayor. Very, very tough.
And Harry, earlier we heard that it would be left up to the units of the police who are out there to kind of judge the situation. I guess that's one thing you have to do. You can't have a one-size-fits-all approach. You've got to go street by street, each different group of police and protesters. No.
Exactly, and this is the real fine line that we're talking about here in the city. We've got peaceful protesters, we have police on one side, peaceful protesters on the other. I'm starting to get a little worried here because I think there might be some people out there that actually just want to confront the police. Not all of them, but some. All right, so the police have got to use discretion and everything they're doing tonight. When the 10 o'clock hour comes, I think probably what has happened is that these leaders in Baltimore have already met with the police and have talked about what's going to happen at 10 o'clock. So there might be a little bit more discretion there before the police starts moving in and moving slowly into the crowd to try and get them to disperse. This is a real hard decision for the police department. And whatever decision
That's
they
the
make
whole
right
problem we got right now. We standing up in a positive way. Y'all cut up, talk about that 10 o'clock.
One of our correspondents.
If you all back up and
got
back
10
up,
minutes. I ain't
we can
going
get our people
nowhere.
to go home.
Ain't nobody going nowhere. We out here. We gonna step in the house because y'all talking about 10 o'clock.
What are you telling people to convince them to go home?
I try to remind people that there's nothing wrong with protesting peacefully, but we do have laws, and I don't want them to be arrested. And try to get them to try to understand that. This is my neighborhood. I live here. I live 5 blocks from here. And so hopefully the police will show some restraint tonight and kind of let people ease out. That's what I'm hoping. But I know a lot of these people. I know a lot of these folks because they're my neighbors. And we got a lot of young people that are very hurt. And there are a lot of people in pain.
How do you end this? How do you end the standoff?
Well,
not tonight. Going forward.
Well, one of the things that we have to do is we've got to have this transparency with regard to the police. You know, this is a real problem. But I mean, you hear them. So anyway, let me. I really want to talk to this guy.
You seem very troubled and very.
Of course I'm troubled. This is my neighborhood. I've been here 33 years. I raised my family here. I was born here. And then when you see our young people, and I feel their pain. You know, a lot of them feel that they did not get the kind of education they needed. They then find themselves unable to function like they want to. And next thing you know, they find themselves in criminal trouble. Then they have a record, and then they can't accomplish anything. And so there's a lot of pain. And then with all the absurdity going on around the country, Fed, state, you know. Okay? No.
Thank you.
All right, no. All right. All right.
Then here's a situation where
These are my neighbors.
Congressman Cummings.
Let's go, friend. What's shaping up, Paul?
Folks, we gotta start clearing out.
Congressman.
Folks, it's almost 10 o'clock. We gotta start clearing out.
Here's Congressman Cummings.
10 o'clock. We've got to start clearing out.
Congressman, how is the city enforcing this?
Well, I think what we're doing, you've got to have a situation where hopefully the police will have some restraint here tonight, and I think that people will ease out. One of the things we have not seen, we've seen some people, you know, kind of boisterous, but you don't see any kind of violence. And I think if the police would just stay calm and let people kind of ease out, I think we'll be fine. All right? And so we're trying to figure out how we can get people just to leave and leave without any kind of problems with the police.
Congressman, what's your reaction when you look around here and just see this police presence, you see debris on the ground, you have protesters, what's going through your mind?
I just feel pain. I live in this neighborhood. I've lived in this neighborhood for 33 years. And I've seen a lot of these young people grow up. A lot of them are in real pain, and they feel as if they don't have the kind of education that they need to function properly in life.
And your thoughts on Freddie Gray?
Freddie Gray, it's clear to me. The police have to be much more transparent. We've got a situation where we have a young man from this neighborhood, generally, who is supposedly arrested without force or incident, who is now, she suffered a broken neck, a crushed larynx, and a splintered spine, and then spinal cord, and then he died. And people, it just goes against common sense for a lot of people. So that's hard. And so we did have a conversation. Our Maryland delegation, congressional delegation, met with over the phone with Laurel, our Attorney General, today at around about 5:30, and she assured us that this is a top priority for us. But we got to get a hold of this police department, make sure we look at it very carefully from top to bottom, and then we've got to listen to our children, because this is, let me tell you, this is without a doubt the civil rights cause for this generation, this and voting rights, and America needs to wake up, big time. All right, folks, we got to get out of here.
Thank you, Congressman. Appreciate it.
Congressman Cummings over here. obviously was surrounded by media. Interesting that he called on the police to show restraint and said the issue of deaths of young men was the civil rights issue of the era, the generation.
Okay, oh good, okay.
Yeah. Hey, can you talk to us for a minute? Yeah.
Can you please help us to get out? We need the reporters and stuff to start moving so we can shut the city down like the man asked of us. We're asking that some of the media start packing up their things and start moving so the people can go home like the mayor asked about 6.
Okay, well, I can tell you that the media is probably not going to go anywhere.
Well, help
okay, let's talk. Hang on a minute. Okay. Amen.
That's the system right there.
People have a lot of frustration, and they're trying to voice them, just like this brother said just now. It's a lot of pain, and that pain has to be addressed. One of the things we have to do is address the problem with the police department, but we also have got to address the pain that our young people feel, and it's deep pain. And if we turn our heads to their pain, that's a major problem. And this brother, this is a good brother right here. I love him. Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm here for a reason, big brother. You hear me? I'm here for a reason, man. We not standing out here for nothing else. Like literally, we here for a reason, man. All we want to do is be heard.
That's right.
Everybody, listen up. If you're not with us, get with us. All we want to do is talk, man.
Let's try to get the crowd eased out. So it won't be nothing.
I won't stand by the conversation. We with that part. If you say everybody disperse, we gonna disperse. But at the end of the day, they not trying to hear that. They trying to shoot us.
No,
at 10 o'clock.
They're not gonna shoot you. I swear to God, they're not. I promise. All right, watch out, guys. I'm listening. Coming through. Coming through. All right now. All right. Coming through. Hey, brother. What are you doing here? Huh? What are you doing?
I've been here all day. I've been protecting the senior building.
Okay, all right, all right.
We got to go on.
Make way.
You gotta go on the other side.
No, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute.
Go back.
Go back. Stop it. Come on.
Go back, please. Go back.
Move back.
Go back.
Move back.
Go back on the other side of the line.
Move back.
Go back.
Please.
Go back.
Move it back, y'all.
So that was Congressman. He just walked back behind the police lines. We're still this side of the police lines, and I just saw the first missile thrown toward police.
So the city now is really holding its breath, and police are trying to keep a lid on this city. Seeing it's Ryan Young, also out in the crowd. Ryan, we've heard from our other correspondents, they are seeing folks defying this order. What are you seeing?
Well, so far you can see the Lazarus Cummings is addressing the crowd right now, trying to tell people to go home. We've seen a crowd change over the last hour and a half or so. We've seen different people arrive here. We've been here since about 10 o'clock this morning and haven't seen the numbers of people that we've seen surging toward the front. They've been asking to see what's going to exactly happen.
I'm with you. We hear you. And I'm asking you, I'm not asking you, I'm begging you to please turn around and go home. And say to your neighbor, accompany your neighbor, tell your neighbor, let's go home. And let's quietly do that right now.
I have to say, I don't know how many of you saw Congressman Elijah Cummings then, but it's a pretty moving moment, really. He was angry and could really empathise with why people are here. Embracing some of the more vocal members of the crowd, saying he understood why they were here and said he thought this was the civil rights issue of the generation. You could feel his sincerity, whoever just commented that. I agree.
Move back, please move back. Move back and let these people go home.
It's a bit of aggro toward the back of the crowd.
I'm going to keep the correspondence up. I'm going to keep Chris up, and all of the guys up, Jason Carroll as well, and Ryan. Ryan, what do you mean they don't want to go home? Explain that to us. Talk to me about that.
Well, we've talked to a few people, especially there's a lot of young people who weren't here earlier, who have now shown up, who have ready to cover their faces just in case there is tear gas, who are standing all around the edges, and they're actually yelling toward the officers. You can think for the most part, the officers have not responded to anyone who's yelling at them. It has all remained peaceful. In fact, people are screaming, peace, peace, peace. But once again, this crowd has changed from what we've seen here earlier.
Okay, guys, stick with me. I want to keep your cameras up. We'll bring you into the conversation. I also want to bring into the conversation now the Reverend Jamal Bryant. He is a senior pastor.
When with Elijah Cummings, myself, 200 pastors across the city linked arm in arm, walked, engaged the police, and helped them move 2 brigades up and put out fires. We didn't do what we did for what we're seeing tonight.
And Congressman Elijah Cummings is out there. Is out there tonight in the crowd, trying to get people to obey police and to go home. Reverend Bryant, my question is for you. You know, you're at the scene of the town hall. There was a large crowd there just moments ago. Would you hope that holding a town hall would provide an outlet for the anger that we saw last night?
The people of Baltimore deserted a hero, and as a consequence,
that's a message coming down from the helicopter.
City Hall, Saturday.
Even Saturday at Family Lords, we were protesting. There were thousands of people protesting. White Americans.
People are throwing missiles now. Congressman Cummings has just stood in the middle of the crowd over there. He's in the middle of that scrum. Here's our friend from before, Laurel.
I hate to be in the middle of it.
You do?
How do I become the story?
No, you don't. People who asked me to talk to you before. It's kind of getting much more tense now, isn't it?
It's really a handful of troublemakers, and they're getting themselves worked up. I've seen it happen, so it becomes malignant, and and someone's gonna get hurt. Someone's gonna do something. There'll be a sharp action. There'll be an overreaction, and
although you were telling me before that there wasn't going to be a repeat tonight.
I still don't believe it. You don't have generalized violence, and you've got a half a dozen really, really vocal, angry people. But see, I worry about some of these quieter ones.
There's more than half a dozen. I mean, there's a couple of hundred people.
But they're not all troublemakers.
No, they're not. That's definitely true.
And you have a lot of clergy here. I can hear you, yeah.
I did ask him before, I did talk to him before. He seems to be getting more live airtime via Periscope than he does Fox News right now. Oh well, maybe that's the future.
That's called the step and drag, where they take a step and they drag to stay in one line. And they're banging on the shields to let you know they're coming. Here comes some objects coming down toward them, bottles, a couple of rocks. I got my hand on the photographer, Jay. I'm pulling him back so that we can stay in front of the officers. I'm seeing it the same way we are. People are moving back and down side streets. The officers are holding a line.
Can y'all back up? Come on.
You can see the locals are not happy that people are throwing things at the police. They're telling them not to. There's another one.
Please, can y'all go home? Y'all see what's about to go
Just
on?
water bottles at this point, but still, it's the provocation.
Can y'all back?
The media, they're saying to clear back behind the barrier. The barrier would be the police. That was a glass bottle. All right, so Jay, I'm going to pull you back this way as they come.
Chris, what are they saying? Are they saying anything, police, on the bullhorns or on speakers?
Well, people are yelling using just their voices, saying, move back, get out of the way, you know what's going to happen. And the helicopter above is saying, move out of the way. This pertains to all media as well. Clear out of the area. So we're moving back and trying to give them distance, while at the same time living up to the responsibility to keep eyes on the situation.
Chris, we're looking at people who are laying in the middle of the street. Is that anywhere near you?
I do not see that. I do not see people. There are a lot of people here, but I don't. You got Ryan on the other side from me and Jason behind him, and Miguel farther up the street. So maybe one of them is closer to it. We're trying to stay closer to the police so we can see exactly what they do.
So, Reverend, stand by, Chris. Reverend Owens, how can this be diffused?
Well, I think before I answer that question, one of the things that we asked the DOJ to do was to provide us.
What are you wearing? You've got some kind of like...
Oh, well, you know, I was told that we were going to possibly have the gas thrown, so I was told that this helps for it to not absorb into your clothes.
Right.
And, so yeah. This is ridiculous. No, with the throwing. Oh my God, it's so not going to solve nothing. It's killing me.
What do you think is going to happen to you?
I don't know. I'm just hoping that it doesn't end in any tragedy, civilian or police. It's just ridiculous.
Fuck you!
Oh, here it is. And here it is. And here it is. And that's what they've just facilitated to happen earlier. Wow. Oh, man, that sounds... I'm sorry.
There's a lot of missiles starting. Tell me what you see. Describe
here
what
it
you
is.
see.
Oh, here it is. Okay, well, the civilians are throwing whatever they can at the police, and the police are now coming in ranks and tapping on their shields, and I suppose it's about to get really real, really soon. Wow. Wow. Just pray for my city. I need y'all to stop. Oh.
Were you here last night?
I was not. I knew nothing about this until earlier today. I don't own the television. I don't too much subscribe to social media because it's just too much. It's too much.
And you come with these people, you're wearing the same...
Oh, well, actually, a couple of them are friends of mine. I met some people, and yeah, so we're just geared up just in case. Just geared up just in case. Actually, the person who I came with, he left.
Could you do me a favor?
Try.
I just need to put my helmet on. Could you hold this camera for 1 second? And just,
and now, what is this? What is this for?
This is a live periscope. So we've got 2,000 people watching this.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's real in Baltimore, guys. It's real in the hood.
That's me, in case you didn't realise. Thanks. Okay, thank you. Stay safe.
Thank you. I ain't been preached for a week yet.
Continue moving step by step until eventually they clear the area. Don?
All right, Jason, stand by. We're watching these pictures along with you. My colleague Jason Carroll there on the front line, as he said, right close to the front line. Reverend Bryant, my question to you is that you urged people to go home last night. Anyone who's in the sound of your voice who may be listening to you that you have some influence over, what do you say to them tonight?
I pray that they'll stay home. I'm not sure whether this is getting ready to start a chain and a cycle of deliberate civil disobedience. They consciously are staying there with the intention on being arrested, and I'm not sure whether that is the same intention there on tonight. But we have to see what's getting ready to happen the next ensuing days, is that they are, in fact, defying a system because they don't believe that they should, in fact, live under that kind of restriction in the land of the free. That all of us, myself included, ought to be home at 10 o'clock, and this is, in fact, their righteous indignation to the system.
All right. In case you're just joining us at home, it is 10:22 Eastern Time, 10:22 in the city of Baltimore, Maryland. A citywide curfew went into effect some 22 minutes ago, and there are people who are defying that, as you're watching live on your screens now here on CNN. I want to get now to one of our correspondents who's out there with that crowd. It's CNN's Ryan Young. Ryan, what are you seeing?
Well, right now we're in the backside of the crowd, and there's several people from the community who are yelling at these young folks to leave the street. They're hoping that they will go home for the curfew. And tell you, we were standing over here, and there were several young men throwing plastic bottles from our location over toward the police. And they got really serious when we saw them start throwing glass bottles, and they were hurling it in that direction. Of course, the police have moved up, and we can see them where they are, but there are several people who are standing out, and they are definitely yelling back at the community, people saying they do not want to leave. A lot of people say this is the line they want to draw right here in the middle of the street, and they want to confront police. But the community members who have been here throughout the day are working as hard as they can to stop that from happening. Here we go with the tear gas. The tear gas has been fired. Everybody is
Can we get back to Ryan's shot, please?
Tear gas.
Thank you.
Oh shit!
Tear gas canister.
Some kind of
Throw that shit back, yo! Throw that shit back, yo!
smoke bombs or rocks at police is really coming now. I'm going to check out because this is getting a bit dangerous.
They're doing that step and drag.
It's not tear gas.
We'll see what happens when they come up on us.
People are throwing.
Let's just watch them a little bit,
Some
Chris,
kind
and
of,
hear police and the protesters.
Fireworks.
Yeah, we got it.
It didn't look like they were cocktail. They're fireworks. Some kind of canister fireworks. It's my head. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check out because all the time I'm holding this camera, I'm not looking out for myself, and I need to find my co-workers. So I will check in later, but things here after the curfew have turned violent again. Yeah, and that is tear gas now. I can feel it. Really taste it at the back of your throat. People are attacking a Fox News van, I think, over there. this is definitely turned violent. That is just smoke. Smoke bombs or firecrackers of some kind, fireworks. There is also tear gas in the air, which I can taste. So people have gone down two roads. There's one on the left to where I am, and there's another here. This one feels slightly calmer than the other road, which is why I'm stood here. Back, because the thing is, the air is filled with missiles and you don't know when they're going to land or where. This woman has just got tear gas in her face. There's a lot of people with like this gas masks on, you can see.
Okay, Jason Carroll, are you there?
Testing, it's Jason, I can hear you.
Go ahead, what are you seeing?
I am Don, and I can tell you, maybe you can see what's happening right now as the line of officers there are about to move in once again. We saw some of those who were throwing some of the projectiles down in this direction. Some of them took off down the street, down Pennsylvania. Some of them still throwing projectiles. I'm going to back off of my photographer here so we keep somewhat of a safe distance, still trying to show you what's going on. Some of them still throwing glass bottles, covering their faces, some of them as they were throwing some of these objects and then taking off down the street. Police using a great deal of restraint. As you can see, they kept their line out here in front of what's been going on down here on Pennsylvania Street. Very disappointing to some of the community activists who are out here trying so desperately for so long to prevent this from happening. You can see a small bit of flame over there, still some smoke. It did its part in terms of dispersing the crowd. For the most part, still a few stragglers that still seem to be here. Police, at this point, using a great deal of restraint during some very tense moments here as some of these small number of rioters that are out here still throwing some projectiles, still making their presence known. Don.
So is it working? And that's important, you pointed out. Is it working?
It is working. It's unfortunate for those in the community who work so hard to prevent even this from happening, as you know. Working, yes. Disappointing, even more so.
Chris Cuomo, my same question to you. The measures that police are taking now, is it working? Is it getting the ones who are defying this curfew, is it moving them off the street, or at least further back?
Yeah, yes, it is. I mean, but this is a very intricate area. You have streets that lead all over the place, and you only have this one phalanx of police officers right here, Don. So what they're doing is directing their energy toward where the things were being thrown at them. But you have people down the street here, went up the street this way, and down the street in front of them as well. So is it working? Yes. You no longer have the concentration of people here. Is everyone home at 10 o'clock? No. There is targeted pepper pellets being fired by that group of officers in the corner. You see them. You hear those pop, pop, pops. That's them shooting the pepper pellets at some people in the area over here where they've had some objects thrown at them. So that's the kind of volley going back and forth between those two groups. And there are definitely some harder core people down this street here who were throwing the glass bottles, which certainly changes the dynamic. When the glass comes at the officers, they start reconsidering their situation and they start to deploy the pepper pellets.
55 people will have got 9 here now.
I want to check in with all of our correspondents. We have Ryan Young there.
At Janapana. Maybe in the future we will all watch from home. At Coolins over 5. Good luck, Paul. Be careful.
At Podja Freeze. Police should sound like Rep Lewis.
Walking back toward the...
At Valentino_Cyan. Hi everybody. Glad you can join us. What fun. 3 exclamation marks. At Missy 905. Be safe call.
So we're on the backside of the... where everybody was running. You can see police...
Go ahead, Ryan. Continue.
Flip camera button. Stop button.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So we're on the backside of where everybody was running.
Are you sure you want to end the stream?
Shooting those
Cancel.
pepper bullets.
Yes.
You can see police...